Well, today we're going to get this land rake adapted to work with my quick hitch on the back of my tractor. You can see that with it down on the ground how it is, it's really kind of a pain in the butt to back up to it. I got to come back here and wrestle it up and then get it on the hitch, and that's not really useful, so I don't use it. You can actually see the weeds have grown up around it because I haven't used it in so long. So today we are going to get it lifted up, get the bushings put on the lower lift arm ears, get the upper top link bushings installed. Hopefully they will be in the correct location for my quick attach, because if they're not, we'll have to relocate that hole. We're also going to install a support arm on the front of this thing to keep this thing sitting upright when it's not hooked up to the tractor. My hope is that with those 3 adjustments, I will be able to utilize this thing more effectively because it'll be easier to use, and if it's easy, then, well, you just use it more. So this is would be the left lift arm ear. And to make this work with my quick attach, I needed to install some bushings. I ordered these offline. I ordered a set from Amazon, and that's what they look like. So there's one for each side, and they come with a set of roll pins, and they're super easy to install. You remove your pin, figure out which, so that there's a set of holes. There's a hole here and a hole here, and depending on how long your pin is, depends on which hole you use. So you just slide these on. In my case, I'm going to use the one that's farther away, and you tap these in. So that's it. So this is the other ear, and it's just as easy as that one. Move the old pin, slide it on. Pound it in. You want to make sure they go all the way in so that they don't interfere with the quick attach. So you can see my finger come through the hole and it does not line up with that hook. This one's way too high up. So I'm going to plasma cut off these ears, this ear and this ear, reposition them so they're down slightly so that the hook will go through eventually here. So here's the ear I just cut off. You can see I've got a little bit of, let's put it that way. So I've got some grinding to do here. Do a little prep work, clean up the edges, get the paint off here and around the backside. Well, while I am prepping this to receive the ears in a different location, I'm going to go ahead and also go get the upright support that I'm going to use on here and try to get it in place so I can get all that grinding done also. Some of you may recognize this jack leg from my trailer. About a month ago, 2 months ago maybe it's been, I modified my trailer to have some a spinning style jack for support off the back of the trailer. And this was one of the legs that I removed.
this was held in place by this piece of square stock, which I plasma cut off, so now it's a piece of channel. However, it goes over this and this goes up and down. I saved this leg specifically for this purpose. I'm going to go ahead and plasma cut a square hole in this piece of webbing here so that the jack will actually come up through that piece of webbing. Which will make welding it and prepping it a little more difficult, but I think that's probably the best case scenario to give me really what I want. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Well, I have my Lincoln Electric Power MIG 140C, which is a 110 MIG welder set up. I've got my ground clamp on the back of the land rake here, and we're getting ready to tack in the leg support right now. So let's do that. So this is still a little bit warm, a little toasty, but I got the support welded in place, and I'm going to go ahead and crank the... So this basically will be in this position with this pin through here, and a cotter pin, to keep it up in place while I'm using it. But this needs to be here to support when I'm not using it, because I want to be able to hook it up to the quick hitch. So this leg will drop down. There's a hole underneath, right here. And obviously if I'm on that side it'd be a little easier, but I'm trying to give you guys the best view possible. So that keeps the pin in place. And I'm going to go ahead and push down on the down lever for the quick hitch, and this should stay in place. Perfect. So the land rake, as you can see, is supported by this leg, not by the hitch anymore. There we go. Completely not supported. So the hitch is free, the land rake is free, but it keeps the lift arm ears up off the ground where I can back up my tractor to them and pick this thing up. Unfortunately, I do still have to come off and raise this leg, but it's still better doing this than it is trying to wrestle this thing up and fight it constantly. I suspect this will make me end up using this quite a bit more than I have in the past. In fact, I've hardly even used this land rake at all. It's just been sitting outside. My wife's getting kind of on me to finish the lawn, so I got to get it up and running. I've got this thing clamped in place here with the ears. I've got the, this is a category 2 pin, obviously I was just saying, and there's a 2 to 3 bushing on that, which gets us all lined up. I've got my ground in place, and I should just be able to turn on my machine. Get a couple of quick tacks on here, and we'll get my coat on and we'll weld it out. Okay, so we can get rid of that clamp so we don't melt the rubber. There we go. See how slow I went?
Yeah, you went back and forth.
And you see how it's coming up on this metal and then down on that metal and up on this metal, and it kind of looks like a nice stack. Mm-hmm. Looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and run a bead right here, just kind of fill in this hacked out piece of crap I did. So wire brush should be over on the table over there. Clutch on the key on. Well, I got this all welded up and we've got it pretty much dialed in. The upper pan I had to adjust. I had to trim another 2 to 3 bushing down to take up some of the gap. But we're gonna throw a coat of paint on there and then we'll get backed up to it and get pulled out of here. I picked up this paint today, this tractor implement paint. It's supposed to be a closer match to the original color, but we'll see if that's really the case. Well, that pretty much wraps up the modifications to the land rake. I added the bushing ears to the lower lift arms. I adjusted the pick point for the upper pick on the quick attach. I ended up cutting that off, boring it out to a bigger size, putting the bushings in, welding it all back together again. Works a lot better now. We added this drop leg in order to keep it in place when it's in stowage, so that when I back the tractor up to it, I can pick it up quickly without it having being down on the ground. You saw me just put it to good use. I raked out my backyard. I'm as close to as ready for grass as I'm going to get. I'm just going to throw some grass seed out here because it's coming up on fall, so we'll get that grass down for this year and maybe we'll take care of it more later. But maybe you guys check out some of these other links. I'm going to have my probably my tractor series of implement videos up here, my garage build. Definitely hit that subscribe button. It always helps out. I appreciate you guys doing that. And I'll probably link up my brother's house videos up here. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you got something out of this.